All right, welcome everybody to the Bookmap Academy meeting. So we do this every Thursday and at 4 p.m. And this is basically the Academy program is for you guys to get feedback on your trades. So you journal, mark up your charts, learn from this, get good at journaling, get feedback from others, and then you can also get Bookmap for free if over time you have the quantitative and qualitative thresholds are met for getting into the Bookmap Junior Academy, then the Academy, and then a coach. And many of you guys have gone through this process. Let me invite D&T up to the stage as a coach. And all right, I think we're set to go. So anyway, and we'll go over how to sign up for it in just a second. The Bookmap Blue Jacket continues until the end of the month. So those in the Bookmap Academy and in the pilot program, you might as well just take the marked up charts that you have and enter it. All you have to do is put it on X, Instagram, or LinkedIn with hashtag free blue jacket, and you're in. Just like that, and you can win over $600 in subscription value. So go to bookmap.com/blue jacket. There's still some time left for some good content. See if you get the coveted blue jacket and win. So let's see. All this week is Discord exclusive week. Also tomorrow. So the recordings aren't available until like a couple days later. So we're trying to support our community and boost our community, get people over into here and get them engaged within the community. So post, ask us questions, put up your screenshots and your marked up charts and get some feedback as well. The Bookmap Academy playbook or journaling and building out your playbook. Go through this every single time. You guys are probably sick of it. I'll have an updated one pretty soon. But 4 processes or 4 items in here. Impetus, what's moving that market? We need to know. And then what are the key levels that we want to keep an eye on where the price might be going towards or reacting at. The higher time frame key levels are the filter because that's where more traders are going to react compared to smaller levels. And then we start to develop strategies and scenarios around that, and we start to filter previous high of day, low of day, time of day. What session and time are you trading? Maybe you look at VWAP, maybe you look at market profile, maybe you're looking at market structure, higher highs, higher lows, etc. These are really important. Once you go through 1 through 3, it comes down to your setup. It sounds trivial, but it's just not. Once you filter, you've aligned things on your side. Then it comes down to your setup. You know your setup. You want to select the proper setup for the day or the opportunity. And then it's just a checklist. So you mechanically go through it. You grade it. You grade your setup. This is really important. You determine the risk you want to put on it, and then you wait for that order flow to give you the keys to let this thing run. So just execute and manage. This number 4 here is what we spend most of our time on. However, it should be the most mechanical part. You should know it extremely well. You should know all the different variations so you can grade it properly and get down into the right risk management for each opportunity. Anyway, if you guys have any questions on setups, etc., then I would recommend you come over to Bruce's pilot program that we really focus on the setups, but the training in the setups, because the main thing you need as a trader, the number one thing you need as a trader is an edge. If you don't have an edge, you shouldn't even show up. Why throw money at something if you don't know, unless you want to gamble? If you love the action, hey, the market is there to play all day long. Heck, in crypto, it's 24/7. So it's always open. Anyway, if you want to build an edge and work on that, we've got a process that you can go through that will it's structured and it's measurable and testable, and you will build an edge for yourself. It's also interactive and pretty fast method for doing this. So anyway, the pilot program, I'll show you where you go for both Bookmap Academy and the pilot program. Go to bookmap.com, click on the More button up here, and then you'll see under Community here, Bookmap Academy, and then Bruce's pilot program here. Right? So we're having an AMA webinar tomorrow for the pilot program. It will be at 2:30 East Coast time in the afternoon, Friday, and it's about questions you guys have. So I've gotten a bunch, and I'm ready to field them, and I need some more questions though from you. So go into the Bookmap, the Bruce's pilot program chat room and ask. I'll pepper you with some questions after this webinar, so that maybe it kind of stimulates something for you, and then we'll cover it in the webinar. And why we're doing all of this? Well, we're going to clean house in the pilot program. We've got quite a few people in there, but we don't have a lot of just lurking, basically. If you're not posting, then we're going to consider it like a dormant account, and then remove you from the program. So please post at least 3 times in there. Just say, are you interested? Yes, I want to continue. Ask a question, and then post a chart. Mark it up, post a chart, just get involved. And that first step is a big step, and be included. Because the pilot program has a lot of new developments coming up in July, and those that are lurking in there, well, this is going to be for those who are really interested in the program, right? And so we can get some traction. It'll make our community stronger, and this is one of the reasons why we're doing it. All right, let's jump in here. I'll go through the disclosures. All Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, that said, let's jump in, and we've changed up things a little bit here in the structure with the pilot program. We are basically going to let the coach go through their analysis and then open up the mic for you. Come on and ask questions to the coach, and then we will pose it to the other coaches if they have feedback. Now, that said, we're also doing something new as well for the a lot of the content in the Bookmap Academy is from the pilot program. This is great. And we have pilot program coaches, and let them also not just partake in the discussion, have them actually go through some of the coaching. So we have some files, Notion files here that they have gone through. So exciting stuff here for that reason. We'll start off here with John and see who's in here. I know Laura's in here. So Laura, I don't know if you want to come up to the mic or not, but we'll start with you and let John kick it off. Take it away, John.
Okay. So I love the way Laura always submits 2 charts. So in chart number 1, the one on top, can you expand that? There you go. This is a larger view, a larger scale view, wider view as to what she's planning. And I was able to just add a couple of notes in there, noting the liquidity above. So she puts a little circle there, and the next chart she'll show some detail. But I think it's great, especially for the low volume pullback trade, to kind of see where you've been and plan on where you're going to go. with the target, and you see the targets clearly marked here at 73.30 and 73.50 above. I think that's just exemplary, especially like I said for the low volume pullback trade, but for any of the trades. So in the next chart, Bruce, she'll show in detail. Okay, so she has her impulse move from structure, as she notes in number one. And because she's limiting the range of this chart to start where the structure is, she's able to clearly identify to the right where the low volume pullback range is. Because it's not exactly. You're only looking at that impulse move. And what you're trying to see is where there's a lull in the action from that structure to impulse, which is move number one, right? So I think that's phenomenal. And it's a great reason to include two charts because you can really isolate what you're trying to measure and what you're trying to identify with the low volume pullback node. Right. So she has skew in there as she shows in number three. Her entry is the break of structure. This is a beautiful trade. And then she has her target. Now, she takes it off at the POC. And I think in this instance that the liquidity should trump um, the POC. I think it's more important. And the reason is because, we're all looking at the same movie. Everybody in the world sees this liquidity above at 35 where the market wants to engage. Not everyone is going to see where the POC line is. And so for that reason, I think the liquidity range up there at 35 should outweigh taking the trade off the target at POC. Now, the other thing about the POC in this instance is that it is on the high end of the range. And so this comes down to specifically each instance. But when you have stacked liquidity up there between 32 and 36, I mean, there's a lot of interest up there. Yeah. And so when you're executing the trades, if you ask for a little bit more with your target and then it pauses a little lower, it's easier to get out at that point. You can just take it to the market. But if sometimes it's just easier than trying to move your target up out of the way. So I always try to ask for more where the liquidity is. And then, like I said, if I see divergence or it starts to stall, 4 or 5 handles below, then I can just close out the trade. It's just I'm faster doing that than I am moving the target up. But I think she's doing a great job. Obviously, if she's not live, she should be with this trade because it's a great layout for the trade. Bruce. Uh-oh, did I lose you?
Oh, sorry, there's not much to add to that, John. That was just all
Sorry.
beautiful stuff. And this is live, so she
Oh, it
is.
is live.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, she's right where she should be
Yep,
because this is beautiful.
yep.
And the thing that's most important, I think, Bruce, is that she's not adding in. Now, she's got her subchart down there, and I'm not seeing any added value to that, but sometimes that becomes a personal preference. But she really staying right with the trade elements as they were presented, as she's following what you said. And I think that's paramount because you start adding different things in there, it starts to get confusing. If you only have the 4 elements that we discussed to worry about, it becomes abundantly clear what you're trying to do, and it really does cause you to be fast in your execution.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off actually, and let some of the other coaches see if they have anything they want to add, or Laura, if you have anything you want to add in here. There's a few things. I think the number one thing I would say is trailing your stop. Is I know you got out at POC, and I really like what John said about that. It's a line, and okay, how many trades or traders are following that? And there are a lot actually. So it depends. If you want to hit a single, if you want to build up your account kind of quickly, you're not willing to let it kind of run and see if you get more, then that's something else. But John's comments, I think, are really great here. And you also have another level up here as well
Yeah.
at 73.35 here from your
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah.
And just to note on this is a comment for everybody. So the way that the trailing stop, you would have stayed in this. Yeah, I don't think you would have. I don't think you would have. If it breaks that structure here, I don't. It kind of didn't cleanly break it, and then it came back. Maybe you would have gotten stopped out here. If you stay, my point was like if you stay a structure away, you'd be down here, right? And then when it kind of cleanly breaks this one, then you can start moving it up, right? And that might keep you in the trade longer. That's the whole idea of the trailing stop, so that you don't let this kind of activity take you out. It's debatable here, actually. I don't know if I would have gotten taken out on that or not. Yeah, I probably would have taken my profit up here, to be honest. Anyway, let's see.
But would your initial target be at POC, or would you be looking for the 35 at the onset of the
No,
trade?
no, I wouldn't really worry too much about POC. I'd be more worried about maybe some of this
Yeah.
up here and the
Yeah.
swing. And there is a little concern. There's a concern on my side here. This is a beautiful impulse move. I don't see a whole lot coming back in until a little bit later.
Yeah.
So that's something that I don't know. It's something to note. But your low volume node, the skew in the order book, this is all really
Yeah.
good stuff. Really good.
Yeah.
And another comment, since I went for it and didn't turn it over to the
Hmm.
other coaches. This is something in here I really like as well. It's kind of tough. It almost looks like a trend line break accumulation right in here, right? It
Hmm.
it is.
Hmm.
But you've got your key level, right?
Hmm.
And then this play into it, and then the move, pretty quick move, big move out of it. That's a great impulse move.
Hmm.
The It's a weird structure though, because usually the what I kind of consider it for the impulse move is it to be breaking away from a structure over here, down here. So this is kind of more like a move back into the range. So depends on time frame. It all depends on time frames. I mean, heck, maybe
Time
this
frame.
is a low
Yeah.
volume pullback on a bigger time frame.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, that was just another thing. And John, this reminds me a lot of your trades, because you're noticing this and you're noticing this, right? High liquidity, but you wait for this.
Hmm.
Once it hits, it's like from liquidity to liquidity.
Right.
And that like traders are interested, or they're providing their advertising up here. Get traders on the hook. Get these guys going short. You're at a key level, and then to pull away.
Yeah.
It's not coming back.
Right. I mean, that chart defines a great inflection point,
Yeah,
because you don't have much interest below that liquidity that you just sketched there, what,
yeah,
80 at 90, right? Not much interest below. The interest is above. So you have this imbalance on the upside. And then, so that could mark like I said, the inflection point to the upside. And then when you go down to the smaller time frame, that's where the
yeah,
low volume pullback
yeah,
unfolds,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because if you switch back and forth to different time frames, you could make a case for it either way. But I think on the time frame that she presented for her trade on chart 2, that was a very nice low volume pullback in the context of what we're looking at here, this push to the upside.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she had a couple of things working for her.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's what this chart shows.
yeah, exactly. And beautiful stuff, Laura. Context between liquidity
Yeah.
and volume, and structure, and it again and again and again. That's really all it is. All of these setups, and a beauty. So nicely done. Let's see. Any other comments from the coaches? All right. Okay. Uh, let's move on. Let's see. We got another one here
You got
from
another one
Laura.
for Laura, which is a low volume pullback trade.
Okay.
And again, same thing. She gives an overview of what she's looking at. And, once she breaks the POC, the trend is defined as up. Now she's looking to trade with it. Very clear. Let's look at the second chart. All right, same thing. Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. See the advance, the impulse move, the low volume node identified very clearly. And just like on the other chart, she has some skew in there working. She takes a breakout of the small structure at the low volume node, and she has lots of liquidity above that helps her define her trade. And that target, I think, was beautiful. Now she's reaching for that higher end at 7,400, where she has a level up there. So in this instance, she was past the POC, so she knows she's in a trend to the upside. She's a pretty good idea that the buyers are in control. She's just following it with the low volume pullback. I thought it was a perfect way to get long this market in a trend that was clearly up. Now, if you look over at the CVP column, just for charting purposes, that's a little bit corrupted where the low volume pullback is shown here. And I think the reason is because she's showing that downside data as, after the market, after she hits her target, the market comes down, that's going to corrupt that the way that looks. So I think that when you present a chart, you want to present the chart as if you saw it during the trade, especially during the entry. So I think this probably looked better at the time she entered. It was better defined, but because this data came down to 73, 78 or so, it's going to cause more data to fill in there, and it probably looked better at the time of her entry, I would suspect. You follow me, Bruce?
Yeah, definitely.
So if you can move the chart over to only include the chart range of your trade for charting purposes and for review, your review, so you can always look at it and see what you were looking at the time of your entry, at the time of your trade, and how you executed it. That's it.
Yeah.
But very well done. I mean, this was out. She got every bit of that, Bruce.
Yeah, she sure did. Front ran the target up here, and then
just gorgeous. Yeah, really good. Yeah. And then she had some volume working in her favor that took her through the first two levels of liquidity, because there's a question in there at 93 and 95. Do you take it? Well, you've got a lot of volume. You've got a lot of buyers coming into the market at that point by your volume bars. Exactly. And that would help you to stay in that trade and get the rest of it.
Yeah.
There's six handles in there.
Yeah, exactly.
93 to 99, yeah, 5 or 6 handles in there. So,
and a nice trail here, I think,
yeah.
Laura, because this up in here was like John is saying, here 96 to 99. It's 3 points. A little more would be great. But once it's starting to move away and on volume, then that's when I'm thinking it's going to accept above and move it up. And if it doesn't, then maybe it just it turns around and comes all the way back down, exhausts out or something. Anyway, a nice trail, and then you did hit market sell here. So um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of made you do that. Maybe just it started. Maybe you saw something right in here, and it's starting to come in or exhaust out or something. I don't know, Laura. Maybe what you saw there, and then maybe you can follow up on that.
I do that all the time. You got 12 handles in there. Take the
Yeah,
money,
yeah,
cash the check.
yeah,
Why mess around? That's what comes into my mind.
yeah. I mean, this is a big move, right? Just in
Consistency.
here,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
No, I think she did the right thing all around.
okay,
Really,
okay.
really good.
So intuition is what you said, Laura. You saw nothing in there. You just like, yeah. Okay. What? Anyway, play around with, how you want to handle that, maybe. But um, uh, that's when you get nice moves and it starts to go exponential. A lot of times you'll get the move right back into the mean.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so uh, that's something to take a look at, and even look for like a trend line, break and reversal potentially. But anyway, that's not over. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Okay, that's
Hmm.
everything I have.
Hmm.
So, coaches, anything else? Any remarks?
Can't really add a whole lot to that. Fantastic trading and charting, Laura. I mean, great risk management. She got in at the bottom and out at the very top of that move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else to take out of that one.
Very clear. Yep.
All right. Let's move on and to Boho.
See in here?
Let's see. Yes, he's always here. Taboho just
Probably
love
why his charts look this good.
exactly. Taboho's been putting so much effort and energy into this, and improving incrementally over time here. That's just made massive changes. Way to go, Taboho! You're exemplary.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Bruce.
Yeah, really, really, you're on your way to becoming a coach. So continue on, and great stuff here. There's a lot more exciting stuff in the pilot program. Like I said, upcoming. That's why I want you guys to post, because I want you guys to be in there. If you're not posting, and Taboho, my God, you posted so many times. You told me, others have, Vinfra, Nan, Bob,
Yep.
Bob Ford. Oh my God. Anyway, continue on if you have not posted much in there, so we can continue on with you in the program. Let's see. I'm sorry, John, take it away.
Trendline break accumulation trade here, Bruce. Clearly marked. Passive accumulation on 3 levels coming down to his key level, which is clearly marked. Market attempts to go through liquidity to the downside at 6,900. Fails, makes a nice reversal with significant volume. He marks the structure. He gets in at the break of structure coming up. And the only thing I have to say with this is that after it makes that break, you can see above at 69.38, liquidity is being added. So that would have been my target to Boho. I don't know if it made it up that far, but kind of like what I was just talking about with Laura, I always like to look for the most predominant level of liquidity, and then if it starts to fail, I can always take it to the market. But sometimes it's just easier to get out of the way and stay out of the way until you need to get filled. But that predominant area at 38 would have been my choice for the target. But you made it, you made money, and you turn the page and you wait for the next one, because this is a very, very good setup. Bruce?
Yeah. I mean, if David was here, like he'd go on about this kind of angle
Angle.
and
Yeah.
volume. And if I think we had a discussion a while back, and Nan got involved in something like this as well, and I made the comment, well, you know, something about fear of missing out or waiting for more confirmation, and Nan very quietly just said, no, this was what I was looking for, and this is why I got in. And it was great. So um, because of that volume and because of it really starting to pick up into the other criteria there, it these kinds of moves likely go, and if you don't get them, you won't get in, and it's very hard. A lot of times, and like the low volume pullback would be some tiny little jag in here just above that structure in this liquidity. Anyway, yeah, I really like the entry, and it's up to you, Taboho, but like to me, it looks like when you do have this kind of volume and this kind of speed, trail it.
Yeah.
Because like it should, your stop or your take profit should be way up here at 50, because you don't know, but and then we never know, right? But the key is, though, we're set up for something we think is pretty good and we know is pretty good from past experiences. Therefore, we're going to take advantage of it. And in this case, I would go back and retrade this a few more times and see what you get. There's another thing in here that we've covered a lot, that I didn't really put it into the setup criteria, but these little pockets along the way, right? So we know the buyers are in here, and you get even more like accumulation down here. All you need is some more aggressive buyers in here, and this thing should move. Typically, sometimes it has to do this a couple of times, a couple of pockets, but then the setup is pretty nice. All right, so I'm sorry, I kind of jumped to Boho out of context here, or out of line. It's for you to respond to the coach. So to Boho, and response to John.
Good evening, Bruce, and good evening,
Yes,
John. Thank you very much for pulling out this trade. I've really been looking forward to having this reviewed. My interest in using the market profile add-on came after Bruce's, I think that was about 2 weeks ago, where you specifically focused on market structure to filter out higher time frames. I really liked it, and when you explained the John's strategy of the market structure, liquidity skew at entry, and the magnetic liquidity at target, I really got it. I said, oh, this is it. I'm going to start practicing this over and over.
And that's exactly
again.
what you're
And
looking
then,
for. That's exactly what you're looking for in
yes,
real time, when you just know this is what I want to do. No question. Yeah.
yes, John. So I went to the Bruce's pilot program for the qualitative TLBA files there, and I set myself a target of practicing this over and over again, probably going to about 30 trades where I just practice this method. And this is one of the trades where I was starting to get a handle on this. And specifically here, I was studying the value of using or observing the value areas from the TPO, as well as the POC. So this is why I got out immediately when I saw the structure they provided, because that's exactly what they did together with the magnetic liquidity. So I really was super excited that the market profile add-on provided such a good structure for me, and I immediately got out so that I could take the screenshot because these levels are dynamic. It would have moved, and I would not have taken the screenshot to observe what's in here on the screenshot. So I will now go back to trade it and trail the stops up to that magnetic liquidity up there to gather further insights about this. But I can say I'm at a stage where I'm starting to understand the setup and what we are really looking at, and this trade is one of it's one of them.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Really great. Really great to hear, Taboho, especially like that filtering process. As John was also saying, yes, that's all you need to look at. Like, when you're waiting and you're watching, and then you've got that filter, and then now you've got something that's really telling you something here at the end, and this is where this is where you have an edge. And it's time to push it. Next steps, just as I had mentioned, I think last time, next steps will be like going through and grading. Grade each trade, guys, and then understanding when you have these documented in your journal, you can go back and take a look and go, what did I grade it here? What did I grade it there? And start to understand. Okay, now, instead of putting on like 2 contracts, maybe I put on 4, maybe I, you can start to get into like even scaling out a little bit here, but holding, and reducing some risk, but trying to get a lot more out of it. That's on down the road, but that's where it's leading to. Just wanted to kick that in as well. Coaches, other coaches, any questions? You guys are experts on this setup.
If not, I wanted to add something here.
I just have one quick thing to Boho. Fantastic markups. You've been doing really amazing work, and a lot of it prolific work. I would like to see a little more of what price does after you get out. Did it make it to that 937 liquidity, or the trendline pivot high at 42ish, or did it roll over? That's just the only thing I have to add. Great work.
Okay. Yes, John.
Yeah. I guess, Bruce, let me direct this to you. My priority being an order flow trader is on the right-hand side of the chart. So I'm looking at volume and liquidity. And I think there's a question mark here, because now you're looking at volume profile, which is more historical. And in my view, my priority is always to the right-hand side of the chart, which is order flow. And that's why, I'm talking about, the 937.50 as the target, and not so much about, what the volume profile says. I think, and so it becomes a question of balance between the two studies. It can help you define a structure, but as far as targets are concerned, it's volume and liquidity for me. What would you say to that? Just trying to balance out the two studies.
Oh, I got a good answer for you. So it's the short answer is the two together. So okay. Like what I've always kind of said or set up was like, look at the swings, and where there was a reaction from sellers and drove that market, just like Shark is talking about up here, but now match it up with liquidity. What do traders think about that? Are they willing to engage, in some of these areas? And here where it broke from here, and you can see right here in the market structure, market profile here. There's like a node here, right? Okay. And it spent some time there, then it dropped. So you have some structural reason in the bigger picture, but the clean answer though is in the order flow, John. I think you got the right answer. Look for the Well, I still like the swings and see the reaction, but look for that liquidity. Is there liquidity? Are there other traders who are in alignment with it? Then you've got your reasons for it.
Yeah. Volume bars, volume dots, and liquidity above.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So
I mean, that has.
and where are they going to take it to? I mean, a lot of traders will, like, they were, here's single prints up here. Look at all those. I mean, it's going to be single print on your volume, not your volume profile necessarily, but like your market profile for sure. Now this is only the A and the B session, right? So we don't have much in here, but I mean, those are single prints. And volume, it's really low volume up in here. So this tore away from that area. There's structural reasons why it would come back and auction back in here. Question is, what do other traders think about it? And I think the answer is here, right?
Right.
Or here, which is coming in.
But just looking at the liquidity, you would say they're not interested in it up there.
Well, they're starting to come in.
Starting to come in.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's 37.50.
Yeah. I would think so.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I have to go back and look at this and see if it actually made it up there. I think Shark had an excellent point with that. Because now I'm curious.
Yeah. Great stuff. Great discussions. Okay. Let's see. I think we're ready to move on. Got.
I have one more for Taboho.
One more for Taboho. Okay.
Yeah. Number 2.
Okay. Perfect.
Now, this is again a trend line break and accumulation trade, and he showed tremendous poise, waiting for this trade to unfold. He has the passive accumulation coming down, and then the market goes sideways, and he waits through that. He defines the structure, and then he waits for the volume to come into the market, and he trades it up to liquidity. This is a harder trade because I think, waiting through that, I think it's harder. But once he sees that the market breaks that structure and he has liquidity above with volume come into the market, I think it was an outstanding trade. A great trend line break and accumulation trade. Yes, sir.
Taboho.
Yes, thank you very much, John, once again. I think that horizontal structure at the bottom, I consider that as one of my greatest developments as a
yes, I agree.
trader.
That's hard.
At initial stages, I battled with being patient. I even gave my reflections here during the mentoring session, and I got a very good pep talk, I think, from the coaches about that. And ever since then, and also participating at the webinar where I see Bruce demonstrating this level of patience. And I think even other traders like Nan, I think Nan also demonstrate that level of patience. I've really inculcated that, and drawing that structure helps me to be patient and knowing that immediately that back and forth is resolved, and in whatever direction it moves, and then I get in. So that's what happened here. I patiently observed the horizontal structure forming, and I was looking for a signal at which direction it's going to resolve. And I made up my mind that if it resolves upwards, I would get in, because already there was liquidity on target already there, having been sitting there since the coil started. And I was just looking at the liquidity skew at entry, because by this time I was already conscious about the structure, liquidity at entry, liquidity at exit. And I sort of constrain myself with those 2 aspects of the structure. If I don't see liquidity at target, I relax. I don't enter, because I always think about you, John. That hey, John is gonna hit me on this one. I entered with no liquidity on target.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So I pause, and once I see that liquidity coming in and staying, and then I look for a good opportunity for liquidity skew, not a liquidity at the, in front of me to possibly hit me, and then the trade reverses. So once I see that I can pull through, given the volume, that the impulse move, then I have that confidence to say, okay, I can go in and pull through this liquidity up to the magnetic target. So that's what I applied on this trade, and I actually applied it in forward testing today, and it worked out beautifully.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good.
even today.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, that's a difficult range in there where you waded through because you are showing liquidity below at 68.35, and it's pretty significant. But you're also printing liquidity up at 55. So this could go either way. But you can see just about at the time that prices break the structure, they cancel liquidity at 36 below, right where Bruce has
Yes.
his
Yes.
arrow, right? They give it up. There's your green light, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well done, sir. Well done. It's a pleasure to
It-
review your charts. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Yes, sir.
John. You explained order flow trading so simply, and Bruce focusing on the essentials. And I think I got it ultimately. The issue is now to practice over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Thank you so
I
much.
I think you've got it, sir. Very good. Bruce?
Yeah, I mean, I think Toboho, like what you said in the end, the practice over and over and over again, it allows you to, you know, especially in replay mode, because you'll come back and look at this and go, okay, why did this one work? You know, and there are some things in here like that are very not so easy. Like, I
Right.
mean, like there's like you know, here there's a pocket coming in here. There's also a pocket coming in here, right, of buyers, but it's still going down. It's not breaking structure. It's still holding all of the structure, and then it goes back and forth and back and forth in here.
Yeah.
Here, right in here, it's looking kind of bad, you know, there's exhaustion up here. To me, it looks like it wants to come back down into these levels here. It doesn't. And this is the trap. And this is where it can be really confusing because I feel. But if we look at the kind of the bigger picture in here, these are buyers, and we know there's buyers accumulating passively, and we know there's those pockets. If the buyers can get back up above, then we should see it starting to move. And these sellers will have to flip out.
Yep.
So the patience is within here. And why I bring this up and I belabor these points, Tomi, Duzman, this is where we want to, like, we really want to assess. And is it trapped, or is it, you know, the accumulation, is it going to work? We're waiting for some follow through in here. And this one was, I think, really nice for that follow through. And there's all sorts of other things along the way up and through here. I mean, there's a low volume pullback here. There's a low volume pullback in here. You know, there's a beauty here. There's another beauty here. I mean, you know, this is where I think DNT would I'll let him talk, but maybe he doesn't get this one, but he'll certainly get these on the way back up.
I actually think he has an order there, right there, next to your second circle, to the left of your second circle. I'm sorry, third circle.
Is this an
Right
order
there
right
to the
there?
left.
Not sure.
I think so. Yeah,
Maybe.
it looks like it.
Maybe. Hard to tell.
Taboho, is that right? Is that a second entry there?
No, it was a single.
I didn't hear you say it again.
No, I hit a single. Yeah, so
Just a
it
single.
was just one. Yeah, it was one order at entry, and I trailed the stops out to the target.
Oh, okay. I mean, that what it looks like a second entry there. It actually looks pretty good. Not it, if you missed that, yeah. If you took a second entry with that little low volume
I don't
pullback
see it.
is where that Bruce mentioned, then yeah, right there. Then that I wouldn't have knocked you for that. That looks pretty good. That's probably something I might have took as well. I thought Bruce was good. I think Bruce kind of mentioned this. The buyer accumulation in that coil right there is pretty strong, right? So if you entered like in the middle of that coil, you would be getting your stop kind of where it needs to be, somewhat outside of that consolidation there. If you entered in the middle of that coil and then anticipating it to break out, um, again, you're not getting like the confirmation that you want. This would be more of a planned trade where it's like, okay, my bias is bullish. I'm going to take an outside in trade here at this key level. It got all the passive accumulation I like, and I already see the aggressive accumulation here building in this coil. I'm going to take it here to get a stop where I want my. I'm going to take it so I could get my in the middle of this coil so I could get my stop where I need it to be. So like if you took it in the middle, that would be one of those trades where you'd have to have it planned. And if you take a stop on it, that's one of those trades where I would be like, okay, this trade just failed. I'm just going to stop. I'm going to put the brakes on, because that would be very similar to, in my opinion, to the entry that you took. Your entry was great. Don't get me wrong, because it broke high out of that, and it continued even out of that with aggressive buying. So
Yes.
that was
Yes.
so you waited for confirmation. So that was a pretty good entry, and a lot of times you won't really get that. But I just wanted to give you a second idea. But that is just an idea based primarily on your plan, because you could do this all day, all the time, and just start executing, trying to catch reversals when really that's not a good edge, because you could be trying to do this all day because these setups appear all the time. So this really has to be built in your plan if you're going to be entering aggressively. So this was a little bit different. You did wait for confirmation, but does that kind of make sense?
Yes, it does, DNT. Thank you very much. I'll try those different permutations.
Yeah, and I would not recommend that to anybody. I'm just mentioning it because it, all these traits really have to align with your plan. It's reversal setups can really mess new traders up. So this had everything in it basically, as long as it aligned with your plan and your higher time frame level where you anticipated like a reversal to occur.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Teboho, you got to stay with what you did here. Break out of that structure. You get in that mess.
Yeah.
You're trading in a mess. So I don't agree with that at all. In fact, I disagree with that strongly. I think what you did here, wait till you get out of that mess and then you go forward. But to take a trade in that mess in these
he's just
markets,
looking for something to pick on me about. He's just looking for
I'm
something
just
to pick
saying
on me about.
I wouldn't do
Hey,
that.
look, man.
I'd hate
Hey,
to see
look.
him do
We
that.
mentioned this last time, all right? Like, this is the difference of opinions. And these different opinions is what makes markets. And your opinion is cool, and I respect it. So if you disrespect
I disagree. That's all I
then
said.
that's you, and
Guys,
that's what makes a market.
Guys, let's bring it down.
I mentioned this last time, Bruce.
What did you mention last time?
That this is what makes a market. I mean, if he doesn't agree and that there's only one way to trade, then why am I here?
Well, we want your insights as a coach, and just and we are looking for providing really good feedback to those that are creating this content. That's what we're here for, so that they can become better traders. They can learn from others. So if you guys disagree, yeah, you can disagree. That's fine. But in general, that's what we're here to accomplish, and not to cherry pick or anything like that. Let's move forward here. There is something I do want to mention about the cherry picking in here. Is something I got some really good, harsh feedback, very honest feedback from T. James. I said, because for the pilot program, like he kind of stopped posting. I was like, well, what's going on? Like, you were doing really well. And he goes, yeah, well, first off, he's in Asia. It's hard for him to always kind of come back and partake. But the cherry picking on things, like on these replay files, this is what I wanted to mention, is like Yeah, they're cherry picked. They're on purpose, and they're supposed to be good, clean, clear examples of. Uh, I throw some other ones in there, but like some clean examples of what's going on in the setup, and these are the things to look for. So when we get to the live market, though, it's not as clean and clear as that. And that's where I think I'm gonna have to spend more time with you guys, and like I said, some more materials not every day, but maybe every day. We'll see how it goes. We'll have pilot program webinars in the afternoon and go through these things. What did we see today? Why didn't this work? Also, just methods, how to go through some of the process in here, and you know. It's all about process. That's what we're getting across in this pilot program, and it's about the edge. Because otherwise, like, take a look at the environment out there. It's gurus, and it's a lot of gurus driving Lamborghinis. They're good presenters. They're magnetic personalities. But what's the process? What we have over here is a process. Heck, I'm not showing Lamborghinis on the website or anything like this, and like, hey, look at me, or this is about all of us becoming better and going through the process in here. So that's really important, right? So that's the main thing in here, and then have some really great traders come in, and they've gone through the process as well, and let's all kind of learn from each other.
May I say something, Bruce?
Sure.
About cherry picking. Replay and live trading are not the same thing. One is learning and one is performing. These are very antagonistic things. And I've been trading replays since I started Bookmap long ago. And it's more about programming yourself, your mind muscle connection physiologically to execute that trade, right? You already know. You watch the replay, you can pull the whole thing up on your screen. You know what's going to happen. Then you go back, you find a place to start, and you're practicing. You do it over and over again the way Bruce recommends, because you're practicing execution, right? You're getting in those reps to connect that for that mind muscle connection, right? You're not here to take the same trade and do a market read of it over and over and over again. This is more about, I believe this is about programming the execution aspect of it. And reading the market is a hell of a lot easier than executing a trade in real time when your money is on the line.
Yeah. And Shark, it's funny that you kind of bring this up and that you're speaking, because this is from I thought this was from the webinar here. This is your markup. Okay.
Yes, the day is wrong. That was actually
It's Tuesday.
And I have Wednesday at the top.
And I was, it was live webinar. I was on, right? And I was saying, like, is this a trend line break accumulation? I just didn't see that these aggressors come in. Now you took it, right? And you did great, and you got out here. Okay. So fantastic. Great trade. I needed a little bit more. So this is where I'm going back to, the different coaches and their different ways of looking at things. For me, like I let this kind of go by. I was looking down in here. Okay. Once it came in here, then I was interested. So I just didn't quite see it yet. I didn't believe in this yet. It looked more kind of in between low volume pullback or You know, I don't know. I wasn't convinced that it was actually reversing yet. So anyway, this is going to happen all the time in the live market, and learn from it and go back into replay files. Learn from each other. Ask each other. This is where the learning is going to happen, and the traction, I think.
This really kind of drives my point home, Bruce. This is a replay. I traded this in the live market, and I was, I was in up there at the top, and then I was in and out several times on that move down. So in my debrief, I'm asking myself, why was I in and out of that trade so many times? And I had a phenomenal day, but this replay is me asking, how can I get in this trade and stay in it longer in a single execution? So this is me trying to learn how to execute rather than what I did when I was performing live.
Okay. Yeah. Good point. Good point. So this distinction between learning and performance. Or how did you mention that? It's what Bogdan talks about in his book as well.
Yeah, exactly. Replay gives you the opportunity to learn and kind of hardwire in the execution part. So when you come back in to perform, and I know everybody gets this, like it's a lot harder to execute when your money's on the line, the market's live. There's a lot of things that go on inside of you or inside of me. I know that. And replay just helps me make that connection, when to click, when to get out, kind of trying to hardwire that stuff in. I think that's what the pilot program is all about, and the reason we want to replay these files over and over.
Exactly. And just get better, incrementally better all the time. Like learn from it and ask others, and restudy and replay it again and again. Even the replay files that are really clean and clear in the pilot program that are provided, I think it's very beneficial to trade those multiple times. Try it a different way. Try trailing your stop. Try a different entry criteria. Look for more confirmation. Look for less confirmation. How do you want to manage it? Look at liquidity. Look at levels. What market structure. Just that alone, you can replay one file several times and learn a ton. And then live market. Now we're to Boho. Using volume profile, using those higher time frame filters, putting all these things kind of together, one step at a time, and then it will come together. And they're not all going to be winners. It's simply just not going to happen, and that's fine. That's part of the game, and knowing how to handle those and when to size up when they are good setups is really, really key, I think. I don't know, guys, if you have any, if you want to follow up on that, D&T and John, anything on that?
All good.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Anyway, let's
going back to that. Then it just really emphasizes the point of a plan and coming in with a plan. And like what Shark was saying, all these things come up during our live trading. The replays sharpen that reflex, right, Shark? And
yeah, that's a great
way
to say it.
And the plan is the map. I mean, it really just emphasizes the plan. And it's not like the emphasis is 100% on the setup, because the setup can take many forms and have many entries. There's entry that I was referring to at Boho's, which gives defined risk, and then there's the entry that he took, which is also great as well. But what is the important factor is so the setup varies widely, right? But the plan is really what gives you the map and the guidance to keep calm and steady, and and to keep going in the keep going on with your plan.
Yeah, and make sure that you have an edge. That's the number one thing here. And if otherwise, what kind of plan do you have? You know, it has to have an edge.
And an edge is not a setup, and it's not a feeling.
Yeah. So let's move on. Let's see. As coaches, let's see. This is yours, right, Shark?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm very happy to have some of the pilot program coaches come in. They have now some of your setups from the pilot program or from or they're not giving feedback necessarily in the Bookmap Academy. They're giving it for the pilot program because they are complete experts in the setup within the pilot program or the process in there. So Shark is this. He put a Notion file together for us, and others, D&T, Laura, Trading His Life as well. So we really start to build out this so you guys get even more feedback from the coaches. All right. So let's see. With that said, Shark, take it away, and then we'll turn it. Have Nan give his response.
Can we zoom in on the?
Yeah.
There we go. So, great work, Nan. You're doing really great work. Everything is identified and marked up, all 4 trade criteria. And back to, learning, performing versus execution. I don't know how many times you replay this, but this is a really great execution. You have your aggressive buyers break that trend line, price pulls back. So that first pivot above your break of structure where I have the little number 1, when price breaks back above that, you see, buyers step on the gas. They really engage right there. That pivot, the minor rally high, is oftentimes where kind of this trade either goes or it doesn't go. So that's a fantastic entry. Right there. Looking at your trailing stop, it looks to me like where you're trailing it to is sitting at or right above your previous pivots. I don't know if that's the case, but I recommend setting that stop just below those pivots. And because price likes to, often come back and test those. In this case, it just went at a 45-degree angle and didn't come back at all. But and the next trade you have, you kind of nailed that. But your exit up here, I think, is fantastic as well. It's as price rolls over at that liquid offer and comes back to that bid, you just get out of the trade. And that's right at that trendline pivot high that I tend to target with this trade. Exactly. Fantastic entry, fantastic exit. Now, my question is, did you replay this more than once?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't bring Nan up. My bad. Nan, please.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Bruce. Hi, coaches and fellow traders. No, Shark, this was the first round of tapping into Bruce's replay files. If you look back at my history, mostly it's just simulations that I pull from my own data feed. But a week ago, I started the replay files that Bruce produced, and so this is my first round on everything that I've posted in the last week. And it was just one of those. Well, all of the files were essentially the same in terms of my first exposure. However, with this particular entry, the aggressive accumulation just the white box just prior to 11 o'clock, and even before the break of the trend line, showed increased buying interest. So the buying pressure there was a good signal for me once we broke the structure. I waited for the pullback, which I typically like to see, and then I got in because the sustained volume just resumed, and so it worked out favorable, right? In my case, yeah, and there was a small white line there where I drew. Once it crossed that, I got in there.
Yeah, that's
Really,
that's
yeah,
exactly what I call the minor rally high. It's a fantastic entry.
right, yeah, and I think I learned that from you in one of your comments in previous last week, I believe. Trailing this was interesting, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So, on a more zoomed in view, the amount of green bubbles were so overwhelming that any rotation was uh, overcome by either um, long delta bars or big bubbles. And so if you look at it visually, you could see that from the superficially. But as I continue to follow this, the journey was long, but with even all of the liquidity along the way, I just keep absorbing it. The pullbacks were very minor, and essentially it was an easy trade. I wouldn't say it was. I was locked out in this trade because I was very diligent in how I managed it. But it was, and these days don't happen too often. But this trade was a good feeling, a good experience, and I'm glad that I stuck with it through the long haul. As you can see on the replay marker at the very top, Bruce, I, I I stopped there after the exit. I should have let it continue a little longer, but um, in the truthfulness of my own internal sense, I did not want to see what happened after that point. Because I'm going to come and replay this, and I know that sounds somewhat weird or whatever, but that's just me, and I'd like to pretend that this is real, and I hate to know what's going to happen. And so I stopped it there, and I believe, it may continue higher. I don't know, but I'll experience that in the next trade or the next round.
Yeah, it's like you said, you exposed yourself to it. While you have that loaded up in your book map, expose yourself to it multiple times. Rewind that thing and trade it again. Enter someplace else. Um, it's a fantastic way to like DNT said, to sharpen that execution skill. And you don't need to screenshot and mark up every time you trade it. Trade it a few times. Take a good one, mark it up. Take a bad one, mark it up. But the more times you get that rep in, you're programming yourself so that when you hit this in the live market, you're gonna have that hardwiring.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. And he is hitting these in the live market. So, it's really great to see. And it's, I'm repeating what I just said, but just the more and more experience, and then the more and more understanding that of the different variations of this, the more and more prepared you're going to be, and you'll start to filter, get a little bit better, start to filter, get a little bit better, and then that's when, like, probably, it'll be a lot more green days, bigger green days, and small red days over time. That's the goal.
Well,
Let's see, coaches, anything?
the breakage structure was perfect the way he has it ID'd there, because not only of the trend line, but of the buy volume that's coming in. And you really needed to have that because as the market is making its way down, they actually lowered the liquidity from 60 down to 57. So as this market's coming down, you're thinking, well, shoot, we might go down a little lower. And that liquidity stays in the market. So you really needed some convincing evidence that it was going to turn here. So where you mark the break of structure is perfect. Great trend line with a lot of buy volume coming in. And then at your entry, you have even more volume coming in. So the quality of your setup makes for the quality of the trade. And then you follow with your stop right behind it, and goes, and then you extend your profits following the liquidity being added progressively above. So this was very good, Nan. But I especially like where you mark the break of structure, because that was the inflection point, defined by way of the trend line and of the transition of sell volume to buy volume. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah, I do. Thanks, John.
Excellent.
I see
Perfect.
that, and that's certainly what I picked up
Yeah.
from some of your
Yeah.
reviews as well.
Yeah. And that's where Bookmap is so helpful to be able to identify those transitions because, up until that point, up until the break of structure, I mean, it could continue to go down and clip that liquidity at 57. But buyers came in here and they took control right where you marked it. So well done. Nicely done.
Thanks again.
Yep. Bruce.
Yeah, Nan, I mean, it's hard to, all your charts look the same. And I mean that in the best way. And time and again, I see you do this. And
Yeah. So
you're doing just great, and you're getting it down. I mean, it's more like, I think, kind of pick your mind on, instead of us giving us feedback, you give us feedback. How's it going in the process? What have you kind of slipped and fell on, or what? I think I have seen some really good feedback from the coaches along the way. If it's trailing your stop or your entry or your targets or some things, but and you have come back and learned from those and applied those things. But yeah, it's just yeah. I think maybe reflecting off of some of these things that I think would be helpful for others, Nan. I don't know if you have anything that has been more helpful or less helpful in this process.
Yeah, well, overall, my experience with the program has been one single focus. I would, sum it up, and that is gaining a continuous understanding of Bookmap's application in the order flow process, particularly with the two setups we trade, the red line breaking accumulation and the low volume pullback. I noticed that the maximum benefits came from experiential learning, which is in line with what you have been advocating, Bruce, replay repetition, and which is also echoed by the coaches always. But I will go further to say this. Both the Bookmap Academy and the Bruce's pilot program, I have observed offered a tremendous opportunity with two great elements: a system in place and a process to follow. And you alluded to the process or the system in place a little earlier, and I think Bruce. But anything in life, if you have a system in place and a process to follow, whether it's your personal life or whatever aspect of life, that in itself is the foundation to stand on, and you've got that in here. And I think sometimes initially I overlooked that, and I didn't pay attention to it. And then in addition to that, the resources that it comes with, the coaching, the mentorship, the webinars, the learning center, those are just support mechanisms, and they are there and they're working because I'm benefiting from it. I'm a benefactor of it, and I am proud to say that. My greatest achievement so far has come from continuously developing my understanding of all of those resources, the weekly webinars and all and everything else. And then the context is essential for the entire process to develop. So staying within the context, I can bring in the past 20 years that I've been exposed, trying to understand the market and all of that, right? And we know it is luggage. And I have deliberately dropped those things off and made a commitment to really truly follow the uniqueness and the proprietary features of Bookmap. And for the first time, I could say it is working because my internal feeling is such that I am seeing the dawn of an edge that I would one day embark upon. And I say all of this with not with any hype, but with a keen sense of humility. And for those who want to experience it, I think Bruce, what you have and what you offer, and the way you deliver it, the way you promote it, is unfound anywhere else. And I know that may be relative and subjective to my opinion, but I hope folks would find value in it and um, take it from there. So thanks for the opportunity and turn it back on to you.
Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Nan. Really beautifully said. And that's what these are our goals. This is what we're trying to do. And we've got a really good team. We've got great coaches. We've got a great community, supportive, and and a continuation of the process. This is something where I had mentioned, several times in the last couple of weeks about like in the pilot program, guys, like, show your interest, post in there, because this is going to change. And we're going to have webinars, we're going to have follow-ups, and come on in. We'll go through other details that some will be trade recaps like this, but there'll be other details that we're going to go through about the process, because there's a lot of questions on the process, and I think that'll be really, really helpful for getting people on the right path. I don't know. Thank you, Nan, so much. Really, really nice comments. Guys, anything else on this one?
Nope.
There's one more slide from Nan if we could look at it real quick, Bruce.
Sure.
Good.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to make your point that Nan, all your TLB trades look the same, which is exactly what we want, right? Repetition. So right where I've dropped that, same as the last one where I dropped that white dot with the number 1 in it,
Mhm.
you have the break of structure, you get those little pullbacks, and right where you enter where price breaks that little pullback, buyers step on the gas. Yes, it rolls over, but you never go out of the money. You never move your stop, right? You're still in a little profit there at the very bottom where it takes back off. And where I marked it with the little 2, you clearly see that your trailing stop is set below those previous pivots. And you stay in the trade. You stay in the trade, you get through that liquidity or past that trendline pivot high through that liquidity, and then when she rolls over at that blood red liquid offer, boom, you're out of the trade. You just mark it out. You never let it run back to your stop. It's really good management. I think the more times you do that, even in replay, especially in replay, you know, you're gonna reinforce that movement, that little click. Okay, it's time to get out. You're out. No overthinking it. No watching it roll back over and take out your stop. You know, you have a reason to get out and you're out. Great
Yeah.
markup.
And any comments?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the comments, Shop. Thanks very much. But this trade is like the previous one we just looked at, essentially. You know, a few little differences, but you know, just following the same discipline and understanding. You know, it becomes, you know, almost secondary, but you know, there are times when it's not. So this one worked out pretty good. I again, one of the replay files, Bruce. First time I'm viewing it, and as you can see, there was more replay time left, but I'll explore that in my second round to see how I can experiment and learn from it. But yeah, the exit was shortcoming because I saw that liquidity above 63.96, and I knew that will face some resistance there. So after such a long journey, and what got in at about 75 to 91, you know, almost 20 some points. That was enough for one day and playing it safe. Exit right
Absolutely.
there. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that was a nice discussion we had earlier on that with John and Laura, going over Laura. You know, it's hitting high liquidity up here. Okay, yeah, you know, it's still holding structure, you know. But after something like this, like we've talked about, you're kind of looking for chop. And we don't know if it's going to come here or even here. And if you start to see something kind of showing up that maybe it's break a structure, maybe it's a lot of sell volume coming in, you know, hey, I think it's justified to take the profit. That said, though, like I would still in replay mode play it out, see what you get, learn from it. Maybe it goes like this for hours, and then it hits that high liquidity. Do you want to be in that? You know, and put those kind of pieces together. Okay, look, huge move. Buying's kind of you know, gassing out here. It hits high liquidity up here. It doesn't have enough yet. Has to kind of build up again before buyers come back in for the up move. Yeah, that's this is great, man. I mean, like very little pain, uh, and take your profit, get out. And you had some reasons up here too. Let's see. Oh, just one more comment about this. Like, I see this, and like I'm giving kind of bigger picture feedback to you guys with some of these comments. Is um, the first thing is the edge, having the edge. Okay, you got to have that. The next thing after that, and is a close second, is trade management. And account management. And when you put those two together is when you really got it. And I'm seeing, you know, Tomi, you know, God, you know, Laura, you know, Shark, DNT, all these other traders, Taboho, you know, doing this kind of work over and over and over again. And they're putting those two pieces together. And those two pieces alone right there, you're pretty much, you know, you're pretty much there. Yeah, all of you guys keep going, keep pushing. But I think this is such a clear example of those two things really nicely articulated. Trade management along with an edge in the setup. Coaches, again, I've been talking over and over and over again. So,
Nan, another good trade, if I may, Bruce. And this is where Edge really defines this, because this is an advanced level trade. I mean, it's a counter trend trade and you are buying in the weakness. This is hard to pull off. You should feel very good about this. But what defines it is that edge. So as the market is coming down and it's filling that liquidity coming down, below 75, liquidity starts to fade a little bit. But then as the market is coming down, they're adding liquidity up at 96. That's when you begin to think, okay, I'm going to look for a pivot here. And then that's where the volume transitions from kind of back and forth, buy, sell as it comes down and makes a slow pivot. It breaks the trend line. You mark the break of structure, and now buyers come into the market, and you entered perfectly. But I just wanted to underscore how really good this is and how difficult this is to pull off. And that's why I just love this trend line break accumulation, not just for the trend line, but for everything that's involved in it, starting with the liquidity picture and including the volume coming into the market. You followed your stop perfectly, but you should, again, you should feel very good about this, because this is an advanced level trade for sure. Bruce?
Okay, yeah. Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
Yes,
And
sir.
Bruce, if I could just add one more general comment that I had benefited from is when I decided to, get involved with the program. I went back and I looked at every single chart that was posted in the pilot program that everyone had posted for about 2 to 3 months. I mean, I religiously went and looked at it so I can gain a full understanding of what the setup is all about. And back then, this was back in November, October, November. It was only the trendline break and accumulation. Now we have the second strategy. But for folks who are new to the program, that is an exercise that it took me a few weeks because I had to go back each one, and I did a certain amount each day. I just looked at it, how it's marked up. I got a visual, I got an understanding, and then I decided to join the program at the end of January after going through that exercise. So that was my commitment. That was what I did that helped me. And so the learning process for me was easy and faster transition when I started to actually do replays. So I'll close it off on that note. And thank you again, coaches and Bruce.
So that took a fair amount of time, but it's going to be a time saver, and it's also going to save you a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir.
Thanks
Bruce?
again, John.
Yep.
just to follow up on that, Nan, like I'm hoping that because that's pretty insightful and learning. I mean, that's why we have the chat room and post and learn from each other and ask questions. It should speed up the process. Moreover, that's where I think these webinars in the afternoon will be really helpful, so that you guys can ask directly and get an answer. Because otherwise, you might look at it and go, "What is all this stuff? Oh my God, this guy's doing this guy is doing that, or I don't know, whatever." Instead, we'll be able to shorten that. And Nan, I hope that would be helpful for making that process smoother for others in the near future. That's the goal. Okay, let's see. Other coaches, anything?
Nope.
No. Okay. Let's see. Power user Z, I don't think is in here.
Yeah, he's not with us today.
Okay, so I wanted to go over Lekay and also Mirror. I think, guys, we do, since we have other coaches going through more, I hear AVP as well. I'd kind of like to hold off on this, but you should, I'm going to provide AVP, I'm going to provide the files for you in the Bookmap Academy, so you can go back and look at them. And then, this is Sharks, Coach Sharks feedback to you. But Lekay was he's been doing great. Also, Mare is kind of new to the program, but also doing great. But we said we go over him, so let's jump in here. Just a second, and invite you up to the stage as well. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, welcome. And let's go through this. So, low volume pullback. I loved it. And this is in my mind, this is really the essence of this setup. It just went exponential. This looks more like a stock instead of an index. And I think you nailed it here. And I think you're very clear on it. You know, a lot of, I mean, look at this file in here. It's at this point here, or maybe, you know, at this point here in the file that you finally see the setup. You got to sit through all of this, right? And I know some people are like, oh, I'm in here, oh, I'm out, you know, or, you know, I don't know, maybe they're thinking it's a small structure here and they're getting in or something. No, it's really this. And this is the impulse move. This is the low volume pullback, and this is the other impulse move starting. And beautiful stuff. And target measured move into it as well. You know, you can look at this compared to this. And you got the volume in here, hand over fist. There's your low volume pullback. And it doesn't really have, in terms of what's down here, you don't really see much for number 3. Okay, absorption, exhaustion, trap volume, liquidity, skew, except for exhaustion, I would say. In the back and forth in here, the back and forth is where it gets always kind of tricky, as you guys know. And what if there's a ton of sellers in here and then they'll just drop it like that, right? And retest down here and then have it come right back up and then go like that, you know? But in here, you can see maybe there's a little bit of selling right there and then it exhausts out. And there's really, this is really just a break in the action. And then the buyers are engaged again. And then, you know, there's just charging up and through high liquidity along the way. Beautiful, you know, study of the volume in here compared to the relative volume in that range. So that's what I see. And way to go. You've really very clearly seen this and marked it up. So welcome, Lekay, and any comments?
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's actually Lee Kai, but no worries. It's sort of a weird name.
Lekay, okay,
so
got it.
yeah, no worries. I draw 3 down arrows there. I wonder, so those entries will be just way too aggressive. That would not be ideal. Because I thought of seeing this low volume pullback starting from that little trend line break. So just better to wait until the stronger move. Is that the essence here?
Well, no, the essence is like, okay, maybe on a very small time frame these would work, but the essence is this: is a structured. You know, here's your structure, and here's your clean, clear break of it on high volume. It's moving away, so we know it's moving away. Okay, so what we're looking for is for it to take a break and then do another move. That's the essence of it. So you're going with the trend and the move. And this is clearly, like, look at the breakout from this structure in here. It's big. And it's on a lot of volume to the upside. So the market's moving. There's no question. And then it is taking a break in here with the low volume, and then that allows us time to get into it and then take advantage of the next move. So these are not really entries unless you're really scalping it. But I wouldn't even say that's necessarily true. It's not. We want to see clean, clear break. See how that's not really clean, clear. You know, I mean, you can look at microstructure and get in and out a million times in something like this, but that's yeah. This is the structure. This is the break.
That makes sense. And I have another question. For the upward move is pretty strong, but why I don't see much skew behind the price when it goes up? It's a kind of dark behind the price.
Is
that normal, or is it just like a setting issue?
Absolutely normal, completely normal. There's no interest. And you know that everyone is just charging here with the buyers. You will see this time and again that the high liquidity is always on the offer, typically, and then very little is usually very dark on the bid side.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll this is how you would think it's the opposite, that people would all be lined up in here, etc. It's not the case. And it's all about the buyers now and them charging toward their targets.
And for the trailing stop, I found it's just a bit difficult to trail a move like this because I don't know how far the price is gonna pull down. There any like tricks there?
Yeah, that's a really
because
good question.
Yeah.
I struggle with this one as well, and I try to look at the smaller. I mean, on this time frame, like I was going to actually comment on Nan's. He was trailing it, you know, on these little moves, and he was just, you know, he kept trailing it. I find it kind of hard because this is just moving exponentially. The only structures are here. I mean, this doesn't really count, and I would say here. And then you can start trailing at that point. Now, that said, what if, you know, you come up into like a previous swing or point of control, and there's just massive selling on the other side in here after an exponential move, and they're starting to get traction here. And then I don't know. You've made already some good money. We've had this discussion a few times in this webinar. You know, cut it. You can look for like a double top in here. Like, you know, it trades once up to this level. It's pulling back, comes back up again, and there's no interest. And then it comes back down, and there's tons of selling in here. You know, that's where like you can consider the management. It's a tough one. That's my input, though.
And for the target liquidity, I noted this one has like 3 dark red liquidity over there. So in this situation, is it even better just to move the target a bit higher? Because if there's only one line there, maybe it's safer to take half a point below the liquidity. But there's 3. I just want to know your thoughts.
So the question is would you
move it higher?
Would you move it higher?
Yeah.
I'm fine with this. In fact, because it's still going exponential, like how much more juice does this have in it? I think this is totally fine. That said, though, to get a little more out of it, what I've seen, and I haven't put it into the setup over here or anything like this, but these are nuances, right? Is it will charge up into and trade into and through high liquidity, and then it comes up in here, and then it exhausts out. And then you get the deeper pullback to retest back into these areas in here. So that's something to I think maybe study and work on how do you want to manage that.
Thank you. That makes sense.
Okay. Coaches, any comments?
So where you mark the break of structure plus the impulse move. The impulse part of that is defined by the buckets of volume coming in below by the volume bars. And that's what clarifies your entry. You have your arrows there that you've indicated that said that might be a little bit aggressive in there. And you're right. But years ago, David and I, we would have been buying in there. A break of 30 would have been
I
drawing
know.
a trend line underneath those lows, and we would be buying in there because we didn't have what you have on your screen here today. Right? So that's
Yeah.
key where you have that first circle of volume that sets up the trade. Like I said, that's the impulse part of that breakout. And then you're looking for the low volume node and then a continuation. Does that make sense? That's the most important part of this chart, I think. Right? Because that
That makes sense.
defines the trade. Does that make sense, Lee Kai?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay. Heck, David might be buying that anyway today.
He would be down here
Yeah.
buying.
As soon as that break, I can tell you, 30, he'd be getting along there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I see
but you-
David's entering spot gamma. He buy really aggressive.
Oh, God,
Um,
he's an animal.
yeah.
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 He's usually right. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like a 20-year-old, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But
there's lots of good things in this market. You have the liquidity above, a lot of it during the whole time in which this chart is forming. So they want to engage up there. That's what that's telling you, Lee Kai, that there's a potential. They're making a market there, and they're actually making a market down at 25. But the volume is the key here. When those buyers come in, that should be your indication that yes, I'm going to get long here. And that's where
Yeah.
this screen and how Bookmap is so helpful in making trading decisions because you're following the volume to what's posted in the liquidity. Bruce?
yeah, no, just great. I mean, one of the key things I feel is the move away, and understanding the move away, like the clean, clear, like move. It happens, in here, basically. And then you compare, like John is saying, pair that with the volume in here. Like, boy, it's going to have to take a lot of volume to move that back down.
Yes.
And there was just no interest in here. So you do have a little bit of that skew or flip in the book here. It's not much, but you can see it in here. I wouldn't really say much about that though. But that would, if this did break, it's such high volume, and it was on low volume into here. I'd look for it to come back up and then do that again. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Point move away from the structure, and then yeah, that's. I think it makes it safer for you. Just put it that way. Other coaches, any other comments?
I could say some.
What do you got?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So in the chat, there's a image that I just posted. That's a forward from Lee Kai from a couple weeks ago. So this was his trendline break accumulation number 10 replay, he said. And I gave him some feedback on this. Just kind of how I have always mentioned in the past, the low volume pullback is really gives you that second opportunity instead of doing exactly this. If you look at entry two here is like one of those trades where it's like, oh shoot, I missed it. What am I going to do? This is kind of like a FOMO entry, right? In my opinion. And if you waited for that low volume pullback, you see exactly what we see now in that new setup that you just posted, Lee Kai. So, I mean, I think you took that feedback and ran with it. I think that's beautiful. And I also see a LVP on the left you marked. I don't think that's like a low volume. Yeah. But
That's
see, now
absorption, right?
that you actually did that, now that you actually have started trading in that low volume pullback, now you know that's not like this. You see like how the low volume pullback gives you actually like a second opportunity if you miss the trend line break accumulation, right? Does that kind of make sense,
Yeah.
that feedback that I
Yeah,
gave you
makes
before?
sense. That makes sense.
Okay, because it looks like you took it and ran with it. You just killed this that replay trade that we just looked at. And that's what I would do. I mean, and oftentimes I miss these trendline break accumulations, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you waited for the market to show its hand, and it did, and you missed your opportunity, or you didn't give you an opportunity that fit or aligned with your plan. So you waited. So you wait, and then you execute on the low volume pullback that does align with your plan.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, that low volume pullback that we were just looking at. If you go back, Bruce, that is just so clean. I mean, that's why it's in the replays, I think, right, Bruce?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's yeah, so clean. I mean, it gives you like really good defined risk on that low volume pullback right onto that structure there, and then hopefully it goes. And if it doesn't go, then that's the name of the game, you know. But I would say that this setup does have an edge, and under which market conditions does it have an edge? You know, it's just something that you're going to be finding out when you go into the live market for yourself, and you just keep doing replays. And I think this is a great setup, though, and it compounds with that trendline break accumulation perfectly.
Yeah. It's you're off to a good start, Lakai. Lakai, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's Li Kai.
Li Kai, I'm sorry. Okay.
No worries. Yeah.
All right. I'll usually takes me a few times. Okay, yeah, good stuff. And let's see, guys. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna kind of push one more in here, and because I want to go over him. He's been doing great work, and we're all lined up here. So, and we've got a nice trade example here with Mayor. So let's invite him up, and we'll go take a look at this setup here as well. And just a second here. Okay. Okay, Mayor, come on up. Got the mayor in the house. And all right, so walk through this one, and in here, you very clearly see you followed the setups checklist. I would recommend putting the setups checklist on here and grading it. I think this is part of the process in here. That grading is it seems kind of trivial, but it's going to be really important later. And try to objectify what you're seeing in here, why it's good, and it's okay if it's wrong if you're new, and then later it's going to change over time. You know, you can go, oh, well, that's not really the aggressive volume I'm looking for, or oh, that's not really, the accumulation I'm looking for, and then those nuances will start to come out when you start to journalize these in your web journal. Then you'll start to understand, okay, well, if, for example, I don't get a whole lot of passive accumulation, but I see aggressors coming in hand over fist, then you'll understand, like, the context here is like, okay, well, it's the aggressors over here now. You don't, or the opposite, you might see massive accumulation and it takes very little aggressors to move that back up. Okay, so and you'll start to understand this kind of this context in here. Yeah, put your I recommend putting your setup checklist in here and grading it. And then in terms of what you got in here, everything looks pretty picture perfect. You marked them all up. They all look pretty good. It's pretty even in terms of the accumulation on the passive side versus the aggressive side. Looks all looks good to me. You can really start to see it pick up in these areas in here. I like the way you manage your stop. and trailed it like this, and also your targets, and let it run, and see what you get. And then you took it up here after trading up into 10 and high liquidity up in this area in here, and you start to see it maybe break some structure up here, and you just let the trail stop take you out. Great example. You're off to a great start. Any comments, Mara? Welcome.
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity. I do really appreciate it. Yes, I'm pretty new to the Bookmap Academy, and I can say it's been a game changer for me. Transitioning away from looking at candlesticks, more to looking at order flow. I think what has always been my challenge was because of the way my brain works, I try to find patterns and consistency. And then with some candlesticks and indicators I use, I'm like, okay, why is this working in this situation? And why is it not working in this situation? And the order flow has just helped to uncover and unveil that, that dark part that was confusing to me. So it's been a great time, and I think I'm also committing myself to going through the process exactly, the way the academy has spelled it out for the pilot program, and just make sure that I have a system. And I mean, just from me going through the replay files, I want to re-echo what everyone has said. It's almost like I think about it like a sport now. You practice where you want to shoot your shots, your 3 points, where you have your higher percentages, so that when you're in the live game, you know where you want to stand and how you want to get a shot. So it's been great so far. I'm learning from different people. So I think for me, the trend line break and accumulation, I think what I normally would default to is looking for the final horizontal break of structure,
Hmm.
and then the accompanying volume
Mm-hmm.
as my entry. Sometimes it seems like it might be late. Sometimes it seems like it might be conservative. And another thing I noticed, because I've been doing a little simulation in the market. So, for example, in this chart, you see that when it got to the next break of structure after my entry, it pulled back. So I've been contemplating, is that where I should take my single or wait for the pullback and then for the continuation? What if it doesn't continue? Yes, there you go. Yes, because
Yeah.
it happened yesterday or 2 days ago when I was in the live market. It actually came below my entry and then went. So I entered again on the second time when it finally decided to go.
These are great questions, and I think in the live market it's going to depend on some context. But in what you're trading, I mentioned this the other day in the webinar. If you're trading a prop account and you're just trying to pass a valuation or pass threshold so you can get funded, then I would go for singles, and just keep building singles, and don't have it go against you. And then once you get in there, then get into the trailing stop. But it depends. Like if it's a choppy day, and I mean, there might be different criteria for the different kind of trade management. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. And it's too bad trading his life has been away last couple of times. He's the one with the advice on the prop accounts. So I think we'll also tap into him for his knowledge, because that's exactly what he did. I kind of came up with in saying let's not let's trail our stops on everything, and he goes, I disagree, and he said that built my trading account, my prop account, by hitting singles. Then I can trail my stop. So
Yes.
I think it made really good sense, and he's got experience in that. So okay, let's see, coaches, any questions or any comments?
Yeah, real quick, Bruce, if I may. Um, So this is a great read and it's a great trade. You see the passive accumulation being filled on the way down. And then once it fills it, they're not adding any more below that. And I think you mentioned that. At the same time, they're starting to fill in liquidity above at 67. Long before it breaks to the upside, they're starting to fill in that liquidity at 67, Bruce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. That doesn't turn the market, but it's something to note. So your break of structure trend line is perfect, along with the volume that's coming into the market. One thing I did want to mention to you, that can sometimes clarify the volume bars or your read of the volume bars is that if you make them a little bit higher, so where it says 1400 as the marker, if you hover your mouse over that, you can grab onto that and you can extend that up. And those volume bars, they're transparent, so it's not going to affect your chart at all. But sometimes that can make the read of those volume bars a little bit easier. But your entry is spot on. And Bruce marked the structure, the little structure there at the trend line break.
Right in here.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Exactly. So you're waiting for that little bit of break and you're trading with it. On my end, I want to get in where they're moving. I don't want to get in the middle of something. I want to get in where there's conviction and some semblance of a breakout to the upside going up towards liquidity. So I thought that was really well done. And that's key. I think that's what makes an edge. That's what punctuates the edge of this trend line break and accumulation when you're able to map out those small structures and then enter on the break. Bruce?
Yeah, wonderful. So no comments there, and good stuff. Other coaches?
I do got something actually here. Sorry, but there's two things. One of them was about the grading, the checklist. I actually had the same feedback for Tommy um, on a couple of his trades as well. I know, like, I didn't really mark or put checklists on my trades either for a while. So what I would say about that is the replays have pretty cherry picks examples. When you start to get in the live markets, I think that the what is it called, the checklist is going to become really important, because you're going to start to see in different regimes the setups are going to look a lot different. The setups are going to look quite different than what you're used to in different regimes, and you being able to track that and see that over time, you'll start to get a better feel. So especially once you start to get in the live market, I think that's going to be something important um, as well for you, Tommy. Um, and I think that was it.
All right. Shark, anything?
I'm just going to agree with John. Experiment with grabbing those delta bars and dragging them up. I keep mine as high as they go,
Yeah, you do.
and it really emphasizes
Yeah.
the changes in delta. It just puts them right in your face.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, give it a try. Experiment with it. See how it works for you.
Yeah, look where I mean, he takes it as far as it can go. It can't go any farther than this. And you've been doing this for months, or maybe even some years now, Shark. And it's been really helpful for you. I mean, like you're seeing these things.
It
Really,
certainly emphasizes the changes in delta.
yeah, exactly. Okay, guys, we're a little over our time. I'm sorry about that. A good discussion, a lot of things covered. I'd like to continue to try to pare this down in time, but we covered a lot of people, and I've got I'll put the files the coaches provided in the Bookmap Academy chat for you guys. Moby, I think John, I'm not sure if we went through all of yours, but Sharks, and others that weren't in here. Or Jimmy, we covered you last time, so we'll put it in, and you'll see you got see if you got feedback, or you want to look at some other trades. So
I got Vinfra, Likey, and Tommy as well. So I'll post that with yours when you post
okay.
it.
I
If
don't
you
know
didn't
if I
post it.
got yours, DNT.
I don't think so. I could post it when you post yours. When you post it, though, it's in the
Okay.
coaches channel.
So yeah, I mean, I was looking for you, and I didn't see anything from you.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Okay, next time. So guys, we got a lot of feedback, which is great for you. So really good stuff. That all said, I want to welcome back Shark, and as a coach, and Shark, I want you to you get the final words here.
Thanks, Bruce. I appreciate that. Good to be back. When we started, or when you started the pilot program, and there was literally 4 or 5 of us, we had talked about something that Bogdan and the Axia crew preaches a lot, and that's the power of community. And here at Bookmap, we don't all trade under the same building at a bunch of desks side by side. But I think what we're getting to experience here is that power, that community starting to build and grow, and we can learn together, we can learn from each other and each other's experiences. So
Excellent.
great. This is a great thing you put together, Bruce. I really appreciate it. It's really helped me. I think it's going to help a lot of people grow much faster than they could or we could on our own.
Thank you, Shark. Well, thank you to everyone else in the community. I mean, especially the coaches and those doing the work. Those that are doing the work, as you can see, you see the improvements. So if you want to get better, I would say keep at it, keep posting, keep getting feedback. All right, that's it. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. Yeah, great stuff, guys. Thank you all. Bye bye.